Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. February of 2026 is upon us, and it's a destiny portal of an eclipse. It's going to make some changes in your reality and the way the sky's lining up. I think a few of you might be relocating to a new city, a town, or neighborhood in the wake of this eclipse, but more so, some very fortunate financial circumstances want to open up to you, connected to family, property, land, parental stories, or even simply yes, inheritances. We're going to talk about how some of this might go through this month ahead and what you might expect. There are some, besides the destiny thing, there are some surprises. We have 4 squares to Uranus, 4 unexpected developments coming through for every single sign this month ahead. What can you do? Expect the unexpected should be a refrain as well for the month of February. For the most part, though, compared to what we've been going through in recent months, it's somewhat more positive on the personal level. I can't make guarantees on the world stuff, however. All right, welcome to the channel if you're new here, and thank you if you are. I had like 7,000 people subscribe to my channel in the last 28 days. I'm recording this on January 21st for my Patreon community, and I'm telling you guys, I'm really grateful for that. And so welcome to you newbies. Say hello in the comments. Tell me that if you just arrived on my doorstep. And if you like all signs content, that's my cup of tea as well, with a spin on world events as well. Now, one thing I want to talk about for you this month ahead, as we get the sky opened up, when we look at it, I want to remind you of something. Every time I talk to you, you guys have to say, you know, you're ruled by Jupiter, right? Sagittarius, he's your guy. He's your lucky charm. And this is a month where he gets continually activated and might be trying to bring you into contact with unearned income, shared resources, unexpected developments, and chunky money. So we'll keep that as a backdrop theme. Okay, to remember that, I'll talk about it again. I'm going to show you the chart. I like to spin the wheel. I'm a teaching astrologer, and I'm going to help you time the best month ahead, which is the month of February. But you know, I've got this mantra about timing your best life, to move in the flow of events rather than swimming upstream. And if you want to try to use this astrological time map for 2026, I do have a video for you. It's 2 to 2.5 hours long for your sign. You can get the All Signs bundle so you can listen to Sun, Moon, and Rising. There's a PDF guidebook, and it's still for sale. I just extended this December sale price throughout the whole month of January and February to honor people's economic hardship that people are telling me about and make it affordable. Because honestly, I don't want to put content out you don't get to receive. It's my fundraiser too. Helps to get mics, equipment, staff, scholarship fund for my courses. Speaking of which, so check it out below. You might want to get it. And then, if you're an intermediate level astrologer, come study with me. In probably March or April, I have to set the date, 4 weeks live, coaching calls as well, with me for real. And we're talking about Divine Timing Masterclass is advanced astrology tools. And if you want to come learn some intermediate to advanced astrology timing tools, come in and join the group. Don't come into my class if you're brand new. You'll be overwhelmed. And I don't have time to tell you you shouldn't have been there. You know, if you're a beginner, you're brand new, then you're going to wait for my sky reader class in the fall, probably. Alrighty. So let's share the sky. This is Sagittarius. This is your glyph. That's an arrow, right? If you're watching astrology channels and you don't know what sign that the reader is on, and they haven't timestamped it and they're showing you the chart, this is the Eastern horizon, 9 a.m. You're listening for your Sagittarius sun, then you're listening for your core essential nature, your spirit, your true self. It often aligns with career and purpose directions in life. If you're listening for your rising sign, it's that what the true you is doing. It's playing a role in the game of life, the simulation. It's your avatar, not the deepest you. Okay, the sun is not your ego. That's wrong. It is your true self. What is your outer shell is your rising sign. And that character is very prone to activations by planetary movements because it is the character in a movie having plot twists happen. So you probably find your rising sign is quite an accurate listen versus your sun sign, unless you're over the age of 43 or 4. And then your sun sign starts to hum up and get into action if you live a somewhat examined life. And your moon is going to be your mind and your feelings, your thoughts and your feelings, the way they operate in this lifetime. Depression is a lunar thing quite often. However, it's also connected to your home and nest. And when we do all signs and say sun, moon, and rising, we pretend the sun, the moon, are in the first house as the ascendant is as well, as if we're peering at the sky from this handle, the steering wheel of the chart, the first house. let's talk about what is happening for you. As we approach this month, you'll come into the month of February weighted by the stellium in the third house. It takes you back to 1994, January, February, similar stellium here. Mars entered the stellium on January the 23rd. So as you enter into February, this thing is highly activated, and it's asking you to pay attention to the following themes: siblings, neighbors, neighborhood, traveling, writing, communicating, selling, teaching, marketing. I know the third house is a junk drawer. Sometimes when Mars enters here, we want to travel or we want to move, or both. This could be giving you a yearning to go on an adventure, a pilgrimage internationally, travel domestically. But also you're pressured as we move into February to consider whether you want to change your location of your neighborhood. Sadly, this stellium also can bring a significant health challenge or even the death of a sibling. I have to see it as I say it. Don't be afraid. If that's the destiny of a sibling, you can't do anything about it. It's probably not going to happen. But if it is going to happen, this is speaking more likely to an elder sibling. Okay. Usually one above you, a sibling, one older than you. Now, this stellium, this intensity may be the precursor to a desire to choose a new neighborhood to live in. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's from the destiny portal eclipse that we have coming up in our sky. And the destiny portal is here. And so we'll get to that when we get to that, because we're going to go in chronological order. But a good deal of you are either thinking of some significant destined travel that will dominate February into March, or you are thinking of leaving behind your neighborhood, your town, where you live, and changing that as well. So let's break it down and talk about it. If you're into writing, communicating, marketing, and selling, and teaching and learning, of course, a lot of focus is here as the month begins, and eclipses will intensify that focus. On February the 1st, we're going to go week by week. Right. Sorry. We have to go by day. But first we have to move you back. On February the 1st, a moon happens in Leo that will be full. Full moon in the house of God, universities, campuses, colleges, court and legal matters, international pilgrimages, far off lands and foreign places and foreign shores, foreign lands, foreign people, full moon, full light, big spotlight there. Possibly some of you are going to be really feeling like you want to get out on an adventure and travel, leaving behind your local neighborhood, going on an adventure. And you might find that full moon is taking seed from a new moon that you planted there. You planted a seed there back in like July of last year, or late July or early August, maybe, or mid-August. And you said, I'm going to get the hell out of my neighborhood. I'm going to move my neighborhood. I need to travel the world. I got to take an adventure. I got to go off to university. I got to find my spiritual truth. All of that energy wants to fulfill itself beginning in February on the 1st. And with Mercury in the bottom of the sky, you don't have to take a trip. This could be the beginning of planning to travel, planning to move to another neighborhood, planning to find a spiritual true path that suits who you really are, planning to apply for courses of education, learning, and study. February 1st, full moon in your 9th house. It's a completion moon too. You might complete a course of study in university. You might complete something connected to a court or legal matter. Okay, those are possibilities from the lunation on February the 1st. There's an eclipse coming in the summertime in August in Leo. There may be a connection between this lunation and that eclipse as well. So there's more coming of this. Now, just in case you're single and you're looking for a relationship, travel could bring it, as well as learning and teaching environments. And you might notice that as we get into the month of February, up until about the 6th of the month, you can find new love through travel, learning, and even doing social activities in your local neighborhood. Could bring a very soft and very enchanting new love story your way. So singletons up until February let me get the date. Up until February the 10th, it's good to go out on dates locally, to travel or meet people in learning settings. You might meet someone new. This is for those looking for love. Uranus will head direct on February the 4th after being retrograde for several months in the sign of Taurus. The Taurus part of your sky is where Mercury has been. Uranus has been, I misspoke. Uranus has been in the 6th house ever since March of 2018. And as he's been here, he's disrupted your health He's disrupted your work. He's put you in on and off switch with addictions and self-undoing, bad patterns and habits, dietary problems, bad food style, binging or whatever. You're like up and down, up and down, up and down. You're not sure about what kind of food you should eat and when you should eat it, whether your wine is too much, whether the cigar is a bad habit. He also had erratic changes regarding your pets since 2018, exciting or erratic. And maybe you've had some erratic and extreme ups and downs in your work and livelihood, as well as rental and home property situations. But anyway, he's getting ready to leave. Oh, and debts, how much money you owe, and unexpected twists and turns in servicing debts as well. But now this Uranus is leaving and he goes direct on the 4th of the month and he gets ready to say goodbye. And he's not going to come back for 80 years. So you can like give him a kiss. He's at the door, heading direct. February the 4th, but because he's on a star of decapitation and a star connected also to wealth, and this is a house of pets, this is also connected to your animals. So be careful with your animals around the 4th. Make sure that you keep them safe, because with Mars in the 3rd house, you never know, squaring Uranus broadly, it could be that your pet runs out into the street and gets hit by a car. So I'm giving you a warning to keep your pet safe. February the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, when there's an intensity here in your sky. And be careful yourself when you're doing driving. This is where you are vulnerable to a health challenge through a driving incident. So on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, be careful when you are driving. That's all I've got for you on that one. Now, knowing as Uranus goes direct, that by April 26th, he leaves your sign. And you're done with all of these challenges in your 6th house, complete, finished, and over with. Health, pets, rentals, job, instabilities. Sometimes unexpected enemies coming at you out of the blue. People showing up as bad vibes. You know, you didn't trust them. You trusted them and you shouldn't have. On February the 5th, Mercury will square Uranus. Now, this is interesting because this is the first of 4 surprises this month. Unexpected developments. Mercury is information and news. He will be in your 3rd house and he will come into a square to Uranus. Uranus is the unexpected and surprising. This is unexpected, surprising developments exactly happening on the 5th of the month, give or take a day or two before February 5th. And it could indicate an unexpected, shocking, or surprising development regarding work, health, pets, tenancy agreements, home, in terms of neighborhood, city, and environment of your local establishment. For example, the landlord says, I'm selling the property, and you didn't see it coming, gives you notice. It's an example. Or if you are a landlord, you have an unexpected development with a tenant. But whatever this is, there's some kind of kerfuffle here. And the unexpected news could come as a bit of a shock if it involves a sibling. It can be a sibling, any age, but it can also be, under this sky, a sibling one older, and some shocking news about the health of a sibling one older may emerge, may not emerge, could emerge around February the 5th. Unexpected opportunity to travel for professional reasons that shock you, that could happen too. Now, unexpected job developments connected to the local environment or friends in the local environment, sure, maybe that too. Moving on, though, we can talk about Mercury leaving Pisces. Goodbye, Pisces, I'm out of here. He's going to cross the sign boundary right here. And that'll be around February the 6th, actually. And on February the 6th, he will move into Pisces. And for most places, it could be the 7th where you live. And as he does that, he's now going to spend a long time here. How long, you ask? February 6th to April 15th. Why, you ask? Retrogradation. It's his elemental water year. Go watch my video with Gary Caton. Mercury is spending this much time in the 4th house. It's got to mean something, guys. And with Jupiter in your 8th house, a lot of conversations, negotiations around property, land, and real estate, parental and grandparental storylines, maybe to do with inheritances or banking, finances, refinancing, and mortgages. And when he's down here, there's a lot of conversation in the home regarding someone you may live with in your home. Mercury rules your marriage house. A lot of conversations with a long-term committed love partner may begin to happen February 6th to April 15th regarding property, land, real estate, and shared assets and resources. In your kind of sky, this can also include separation and agreements regarding the end of a relationship. If you're single, it's not that. It could be about family of origin, grandparents, parents, money, land, property, real estate, inheritance. We include siblings in that as well. And so there's a lot of negotiating, talking, and conversing going on from February the 6th to the middle of April. We will see a retrogradation later in the month. I'll talk about that when we get to it. On February the 7th to the 14th, the first thing we need to talk about in the second week of the month is Venus will square Uranus. Now, Venus is a benefic planet, and even in a square, she's going to bring something good if she can. She's at the end of your third house of siblings, cousins, aunts and uncles, neighbors, squaring Uranus in the sixth house of debts. Unexpected opportunity to pay off a debt relative to a relationship with an aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew, sibling. Maybe an unexpected and positive development regarding a travel opportunity for work. An unexpected opportunity regarding a pet connected to the local environment, including where you live. Venus, as she squares Uranus, is the ruler of where Uranus is sitting. So unexpected positive developments with your health because of something going on in the third house, whatever that is. Maybe you go to see a local doctor and you got some good breakthrough information. As Venus is squaring Uranus, she also does rule your house of great gains, including windfalls. But if you're going to get a feeling of a windfall, the windfall may come because of family members, as opposed to, say, winning a lottery ticket. This does not look very lottery ticket win to me, okay? On February the 10th, Venus will slide into Pisces. And then she'll be here as well with Mercury. And she'll be here through till March the 6th. So from February 10th to March the 6th, Venus and Mercury are hanging out in your fourth house. Saturn's only here until the 14th. But let me talk about the vibe of Saturn and Venus here from February the 10th to the 14th. If you are single and you want a relationship and you're looking for love that lasts a long time, then that's the best time to start dating somebody close to home, close to your homeland, your hometown, or just your home. Maybe with similar ancestral background, language, culture, or religion as well. Now, like feeling like somebody that's of your ancestral ilk, you know what I mean? And if you travel to the homeland that your ancestors come from and you happen to be traveling during this time, which could happen in the sky, then February 10th to the 14th could be an incredible intersection of destiny with a fated love story wanting to show up with that person that will endure and likely last. If you're single, that's great. If you're with somebody, Venus in the fourth house could help you have more harmony, ease, and peace and joy in the home, more fun with the person you live with, in a love relationship or anyone cohabitating with you, especially with Mercury. More beauty in the home, especially art, redecorating, painting the home. And Venus will allow you to do like really good staging if you want to sell a home. And Mercury here could say, do we want to sell this property? And Venus says, yes, and I'm going to help you stage it. We're going to make it beautiful. And that's February 10th to March the 6th. Buying a property and selling a property, Venus, Mercury, fourth house, agents and stuff. It's a doable thing here for you between February 10th and March the 6th. Okay. North Node is like a destined change of home. So think about all these ways in which where you currently live may not be sufficient for you. On the 11th and 12th, Mercury will join the North Node of Fate, and he'll do that right here in the fourth house. News or information, destined and fated, amplified and intense, home, property, land, real estate, mother, father, inheritance, wealth, grandfather, grandmother, or matters connected to commercial and financial success connected to property and real estate. Okay. And as Mercury is the ruler of your marriage house, a lot of this will connect to either contracts and agreements that are fated and destined on property and real estate, or conversations and negotiations or talks with a significant long-term love partner about the home and land and property that you do or do not share together. Mercury rules your 10th house of career, but he's at the bottom of the sky in his domestic private life. And this is really much more about what's going on in your home, because you seem to be unplugged from career at this moment with the South Node through till July. By the end of July, you might get back in the career game, but right now you seem to be either emotionally, mentally, or actually unplugged from career ambition at this time, relative to your normal type of way you operate in life. All right, let's continue then. How about this? How about the idea that that Saturn is about to finally leave behind a long journey through your 4th house that's going to complete a cycle that began in March of 2023. Some of you, Sagittarius, might have felt lonely in the home alone, burden in the home, had an elder come live with you in the home. You might have felt heavy-hearted, melancholic, depressed, or nostalgic in the home. Home and hardship might have come together into one bundle. You might have felt like jailed in your home, right? Trapped in your home. Now, as we move forward, now we see that on the 13th, 14th, Saturn ingresses into your 5th house. And no longer are you experiencing those 4th house stories. However, Saturn in the 5th house can open up long-lasting, committed, soulmate, romantic love stories, deep love, profound love, spiritual love, unconditional love, love that is transcendent, but also practical and realistic. And then that kind of love can show up anytime until 2028 April, beginning February 14th of this year. Artistic creative projects will be strengthened as you work hard to complete them. And you may feel that your children are going through a hard time, and there may be some hardship or sober, realistic directions that some of your children are having to take, including sobering up. And so if you have any children who are not sober in alcohol or drug use, this could really begin to give them a backbone to completely stop those paths and no longer do that. A new romantic partnership that emerges under this will be with somebody likely younger and older than you by 6 to 7 years minimum. And this is not just about February. This is going to linger for 3 years, because with Neptune and Saturn, it's very soulmate, dreamy, mystical, twin flame energy. Now, on February the 15th, 16th, now we're moving on to the 14th to the 21st. We're on the 3rd week. On February 15th to the 16th or so, the Sun will square Uranus, just like Mercury did on February 5th and Venus did on February 8th. Now, the Sun is a different ball game than those planets, because the Sun rules Leo, which is your house of foreign lands and shores, pilgrimages, spiritual philosophy, belief, dharma, purpose and meaning in life, courts and legal cases, matters, visas, passports, spiritual guides and advisors. And because the Sun will square Uranus and bring a surprise, it may translate to 9th house stories. So if you are going to travel internationally, there's an unexpected, shocking opportunity to do so. For example, if you are embattled in a legal lawsuit or difficulty with a sibling, a shocking result may emerge unexpectedly in the court scenarios. All said and done, I can't say if it favors you or not. I just know that there will be a surprise there. Mars rules brothers in the house of siblings. Unexpected, shocking developments regarding a sibling, that's all I can say, is a possibility as well during this window of February 15th and 16th. On February 16th, 17th, let's go 15th, 16th, 17th, good news is trying to reach you. Mercury will trine Jupiter. Mercury, Jupiter, Mercury, Jupiter. Jupiter, good. Mercury, good news. Good news around the mortgage, the refinance, the stock investment, the book publishing royalties. Good news around money shared with a spouse, divorce settlement monies. Good news around money coming from your in-laws towards you. Good news for money, land, and property, in-laws and you. Good news about your land, property, and real estate, sale, purchase, buy, rental deals. Very inheritancy, however, as well. A lot of you might want to move quite far away. The North Node here suggests that in tandem with the eclipse on February 17th. So let's talk about that. Just as this good news vibe is building up, there's also the eclipse right here on the 28th. So I'm going to move us forward. This is the good news. Boom. We're feeling also the 17th, there's this eclipse at 28 degrees of Aquarius, with Mars meaning cut and sever or change your town, city, neighborhood, locale, where you spend your time every day, the environment of your local hood. Cut it and sever it. That can also be sibling relationships. And at the same time, an eclipse says destined fated change, but it involves the nest, home, hearth, the fourth house, inheritance as well. So it can only say the North Node, often Rahu, wants us to move to a destined home or destined place, but also sometimes that expands or grows or volumes up our life. Could be larger, bigger, more spacious. But he can also represent the yearning for a foreign place, a very distant foreign vibe to where you want to live. So some of you might consider, going back to your home if you're already expatting, or if you're in your home, then country, then going to another country. Under this sky, moving to the country of your husband or wife, if it's not your country. And these are things I'm seeing here. Now, one thing about it, an eclipse like this, and it's a hybrid eclipse, and it's not a total eclipse, but it's coming through your sky in a way that you experienced in 2008-9 and 1989-1991. But it's different because of Pluto, but it's similar in that it's hitting the same part of your sky. So go back to like 2008-9. Did you move your home? Did any home moves have anything to do perhaps with a relationship, like a marital beginning or ending? If that happened in 2008-9, this is coming back to you again. Funny, my ex-husband, a Sag son, had that experience with his former wife at that time. Now, the other element of this could be, and that happened in 89 to 91, right? So those are your best comparisons, but that North Node is drawing you towards a change of home and a change of neighborhood. And it could be quite exciting for you. If you want to move, this is going to be a propellant for that. And the eclipse can open up the door, the destiny portal for a relocation, but expect it to unfold 6 weeks before. There's clues you might want to move, and up to 6 months after, for sure, you could actually begin the operation of the relocation. Yet it kind of unfurls all the way through until next February, right? A year later. So it's not one and done in one day. But get ready for that destiny portal to change things for you. And Mars is like, let's make a change. Mars is also saying you can make changes of where you live, connected to your children, to be closer to your children or further from your children. You can make changes of where you live, connected to romantic love. You can make changes of where you want to reside and spend your time, connected to distant shores, far off lands, pilgrimages and ashrams. Moving to a place where there's more spiritual community. These are themes that Mars would like to add to the move, okay? I'll be doing a video for this eclipse, so like and subscribe. We'll talk about stars and asteroids involved, and we'll deepen the meaning of this by a lot. So please come. There's a very powerful star involved in this eclipse. Come to that video if you like and subscribe, but if you hit the notification bell, then you're going to know when I drop that eclipse video in February. Now, the next thing I want to mention is that as this eclipse is occurring on the 17th, Venus is on the North Node, and she's in the joined forces with the North Node, increasing the goodness she brings exalted in Pisces. And she also tempers the difficulty the North Node can bring. So she takes a difficult energy and makes it softer. And he takes her goodness and makes it bigger. So the two of them are working as a team to increase some kind of goodness happening with home, property, land, real estate, love in the home, beauty in the home, decorating in the home, hiring people to beautify, decorate, paint in your home, because Venus rules your house of the laborers and the servants. And finding the perfect people to do the job and sign those contracts and feel blessed by that you got who you wanted. This can include everything from painters, designers, stagers, and architects, for goodness sakes. I want to encourage you, if you are looking for a relationship, to do a lot of close to home activities, near and around this particular time frame. It could bring in a beautiful, destined, fated, incredibly powerful love. If you haven't already met somebody, because I did also mention it was a good window from the 10th of February to the 14th. But if you missed that window, no problem. This window is just as lovely. Okay. So I like this time around the 17th to spend some time, keeping your eyes open close to home for an opportunity for a intersection of destiny in a new potential love story. The next thing I want to draw our attention to is that we're long awaited 20th of the month conjunction between Saturn and Neptune here. The thing about it is it's not going to feel like much, I promise you, because this is really the beginning of a story that won't end until April of 2028. But the key themes are, and we have this conjunction this way 6,000 years ago, but we had this conjunction in the 1700s, 1703, in another degree. So it's kind of rare, right? You're going to wonder here about the following themes. You're going to start to think about this. It'll pervade 3 years. Artistic, entrepreneurial, and creative projects that require a lot of hard work with vision, imagination, and higher transcendent mystical powers, new love with someone significantly younger or older than you that feels enchanted, spiritual, soulmatey, and destined, and has a vibe of that old twin flame thing. You might be looking at supporting and helping your children achieve things, but also they may be going through a time of difficulty and hardship. It's ideal for children breaking free of addictions. If any of your children have mental health or challenges or addictions, there could be major turning points in their life. There's many more ways that this will play out. I'm not going to cover that now because that will be its own separate video coming out sometime about a few days after this video drops on the 20th. And this video is dropping on, what day am I on, guys? On the 20th. This video is dropping on February the 21st. Okay. And then in a few days after, we'll talk about this conjunction. Now, the other element I want to talk about after this conjunction is that as we approach the 21st, 22nd, so now we're going to move into the 21st to the 28th, right? We're changing gears to the last week of the month. Venus does what Mercury did on the 16th, 17th. Now she brings a beautiful flow to Jupiter. More than that, we're going to come into some rainbows and unicorns. Very rare. I haven't seen this kind of thing for quite a while. I'm going to promise you it's not common. Jupiter, Venus, and the moon. The moon will actually move into an exalted placement here. It's not going to look right because of, I can't make it perfect, but the moon will be at 15 degrees and Venus will be at 15. And this is really going to happen on the 22nd. That's called a mini trine. And that's a very grace-filled, lucky, golden rainbow unicorn vibe. Exalted moon in the house of debts, work, pets, and rentals. Venus in the house of land, property, real estate. Jupiter in the house of inheritance, spousal money, in-law money. There's something good trying to happen. It could help you blow out all debts out of the water. Goodbye, debts. It could help you find the most beautiful pet reincarnated from the past. It could help open up doors of opportunity for renting a property out or renting your own property, hiring the perfect renovators for your home. An exalted moon in the sixth house could give you a breakthrough with your health challenges. It also can really look like a possible energy around the beginning of a fated, destined love story that's deeply karmatic. And ultimately, because the moon is a ruler of your most karmic house, the eighth, and you may start dating someone. And ultimately, this also does have a bit of that inheritance vibe. Okay, coming into some money that allows you to eliminate debts as well. But this is going to be a very beautiful, enchanted energy, and you can use it to hire staff or people to renovate your house, to get a loan or bank loan or mortgage, to refinance, to purchase a pet. Okay, to rescue a pet, whatever. We like that energy for you. It's golden, and it'll play out with or without you. So pay attention to the 22nd of the month, a day or two before and after, one day before and after. It's still vibing through your sky. Finally, the difficult part of the month, my favorite word is finally, because I keep finally hoping I'm finally done, is that we're going to move into a square between Mars and Uranus, just like we already saw with the sun, which was on the 15th, 16th, and Venus on the 8th, and Mercury on the 5th of February. But the sun is a different kettle of fish, and the sun, as he comes into a square. Let's draw it for you. The sun will be in the third house. What's the date? Where am I? On the 25th. Oh, sorry. So here we have it. Sun will be, what am I talking about? What did I just say? Mars, not Mars. And Mars at the end of Aquarius will square Uranus. Mars will square Uranus, not sun. We did the sun. Mars, decisions, actions, cutting, ending, severing. neighborhood, local neighborhood, sibling relationships, matters to do with teaching, writing, communicating, and traveling. Mars does like to travel. Be careful. Mars square Uranus this way is automobile accident. Be very careful for this time frame. The 25th, 26th, 27th, be careful for an automobile accident. You don't need it. Don't do it. We still have decapitation star algol activated, okay? Otherwise, it could be a fracture with a sibling, breakup with a sibling. It could be a commanding moment of decision and action with urgency. You need to take that trip, change that local neighborhood setting, go on an adventure, travel somewhere, book the tickets, move. But there's an urgency to it. It's got sharp edges. You must act. So if I'm a Sag, I'm being careful for injuring myself through transportation means the 25th to the 28th of the month. Okay, that's my advice. You do you. I would stay home. But also road rage, be careful. It might not even be yours. Somebody else has got the rage. Neighbors fighting with you, neighbors shocking you, neighbors like pointing, weapons your way. I don't like this regarding neighbors either. They can be very contentious and shockingly so, and give you a potential challenge to health. So be very cautious here around the 25th to the 28th about having altercations with siblings, neighborhoods, local community friends, and people on the daily. A big blowout with somebody in your office, your boss, staff, whatever. Be careful. And it'll pass, but also it can be really urgent decision-making powers need to be taken ASAP yesterday already. Okay, regarding things that are urgent and may be to do with moving or traveling. On the 26th, Mercury heads retrograde at 22 degrees of Pisces. Mercury retrograde, no big deal, does it all the time, but you're rethinking home, property, land, real estate. Conversations have to be redone all over again in the home with people you'll live with. You might maybe want to spend some time in a place you've lived before, go back and travel there and spend some time there, including the word homeland. A lot of people live in different countries from where they were born. You might travel back to your homeland, go back and see people, spend time with people you used to know when you used to live in that place, right? So that looks like some of you might be traveling back to the homeland. I have a Sag Italian friend from Milan. He lives in Canada. I bet you he's Canadian, but I bet you he'll be telling me he's going to go back to Italy during this transit. So Mercury retrograde on the 26th of February to the 20th March is good for traveling back to the home or homeland of your childhood, basically. And then on the 27th, the sun hits the North Node, just like Venus and Mercury have already done. Sun North Node combinations can really light up international travel, spirituality, and court situations connected to land, property, real estate, and inheritance. Traveling because you have to go see the family over the inheritance. I don't know. And finally, February 28th, Mercury will retrograde into Venus on the last day of the month. And we don't mind that at all. And this is some kind of really lucky moment, good news moment, feel good moment, exalted luck moment, getting the dream offer on your property, getting the dream acceptance of the property you wish to buy, getting the dream rental contract signed and dotted, finding the dream tenant, finding the dream interior designer, dreaming positive social engagements in the home that bring a sense of fated joy and destiny, dream results regarding inheritance resolutions, and dream results regarding separation, divorce, endings, and happy, amelioratory, good energies in the closure of a relationship. Namaste. That's what I've got for you. Don't forget, if you want to like and subscribe, I won't say no. If you want to check me out on Substack, I do the Pluto Chronicles, where I talk untethered from shadow bans and demonetization risks, and do world astrology over there. Free at the Pluto Chronicles. Join me over there. I have 7,000 subscribers, 7,500. You might enjoy my Patreon community where I teach classes. I love teaching classes there and hanging out with the smaller groups in Zoom. And you might enjoy my Join Members button here as well, because it's really fun to put out about 3 times a month, maybe 4. I'm doing live streams with you guys, but also putting out content that later goes to Patreon and you get it first, and mostly little mini teachings, but also sometimes my thoughts on world events and the astrology. I've done a couple regarding the Erica Kirk situation. So, and I can't do that without being demonetized. So it stays private in my members only section. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys. That notification bell lets you know that eclipse video is coming and you don't want to miss it.